how to channel and what is channeling part 2. In this video, I'm going to share with you how you can identify if someone is channeling the light or not, or how to identify if you're channeling the light or not. I explained in the last video how to channel. So if you want a lesson on how to channel and how to tap in for yourself, it's just a one-on-one lesson. Go check out the last video. In this one, I'm going to go deeper into how to identify if you or someone else is not channeling the light. And I want to preface by saying that I've noticed this year specifically, there's a lot more people who are claiming that they're channeling spirit. They literally are saying, this is the message from spirit today, that I've channeled from spirit today. And they're 100% reading ChatGPT from a teleprompter or from their notes. And I have really been conflicted about sharing about this on here, and have really wondered, I want to make sure that if I share what I know about this, that it's supportive, and my guides have been really encouraging me to do that. So I hope this is supportive. Drop in the comments, let me know. But with the rise of AI, it's becoming even more and more important to use discernment. Channeling will never come from an AI system. It's impossible to connect with spirit or source through AI. The only way you can do that is through your physical vessel. Now, AI might be saying this is a message from source or spirit, and putting aside the fact that it's saying it's from source or spirit, you can tune inward and say, which part of this feels true for me? Which part of this do I want to take action on? But it's not ever going to be from spirit or source. The only way to channel higher guidance truly is through your physical vessel. And in the last video, I taught you how to do that. So let's get into some examples of how you can identify if someone is channeling the light, okay? And sometimes they don't even realize they're not channeling the light. Okay, my guides are sitting right now to share this example. I made a short little video last year about this, about how there's people who are thinking they're channeling the light, but they're not. And that it's one of the reasons I know this is because it's fear-based messages. And there were a couple of people that blocked me because of that. They never said anything, they just blocked me. And they were some of the people that I noticed were not channeling the light. And since then, I have seen there has been some negative things that have been occurring due to them finally realizing that they weren't channeling the light. So I have been really hesitant to share more of this. I'm human, and getting backlash is not my favorite thing, but my guides tell me it's important to share these messages, take what resonates and leave the rest. So some of these people are now no longer channeling and sharing these messages on social media because they have, for lack of a better term, been hijacked. And it's been very painful to watch because some of these people are publicly sharing that that's been happening. So here are some of the ways that you can tell if someone is not channeling the light, okay? Oops. Number 1, the message creates fear, panic, urgency, and worry. The light will never create fear, panic, urgency, or worry. You will always be directed to your highest timeline through soft nudges, synchronicities. But because of free will, we're here to learn how to navigate this realm on our own. That's one of the reasons why we come here, is because it is free will. Not all places have free will. So we come here because there is free will. Now that can make things sticky while we're here, but you will always be guided through synchronicities and beautiful nudges, repeated patterns, things like that. There will never be a fear-based or anxiety-invoking message, okay? Number 2, the message is in absolutes. So good versus evil, right versus wrong. There's only one version of truth. Truth is subjective, and I'm shown all the time that there's many versions of truth because we live in a multi-layered realm, and my truth might be different than your truth. So when someone says this is the absolute truth, then that's a clue that it's not from the light. Truth is also multi-layered, and the example that my guides always bring in, and they're bringing it now, is that if you had 100 people who witnessed a car accident and you went to go take reports of all those 100 people, you're going to get a different report. You're going to get 100 different reports because it's going to come from that person's perspective, where they were standing, their beliefs about things, their emotions, how they were feeling that day. And there isn't one person that has the truth. There is multiple ways to look at things, okay? The third way you can tell is if someone is they're like, it feels like they're selling a salvation or a dependence message. So saviors, people or entities are coming to save us. You know, the rapture is going to take the holy ones. The true light reminds you that you are powerful and you have the answers within. Now, sometimes, many times, we do have access to all the answers within, but all of the junk and the noise in this realm causes us to sometimes not be able to hear it or trust it. We're taught from the time we come out of the womb to go external because the noise is loud external. All the dopamine hits, right? So you have the answers within, but we all question sometimes, the next step or what we should be doing or what things mean or what's the lesson here. And so your higher self, your team might guide you to a message, maybe on social media, maybe a synchronicity. Maybe you're seeing angel numbers all the time. Maybe you pop on a video and you see someone like me talking about something, and your job is to go inward and discern, is this a message for me? Is this in my highest good? Because your higher self will bring you things to help guide you, to help you confirm for yourself, the information that maybe you haven't been able to discern because of how loud the noise is, okay? Number 4, it will feel like performance or forced versus calm and peaceful and supportive. So somebody forcing a message, this kind of bleeds into number 5, but like, putting themselves on a pedestal because number 5, their information flatters the ego. So what I've seen a lot is I've seen people say that they've been told they're the chosen one, that they're part of a chosen group. There's something going around right now about, I just heard District 7, but it's like Group 7 or something. I don't even know what that is. That is division. That is separation. That is not from the light. I don't even know what that is. And I understand everybody has different ways that they perceive things. Again, truth is multifaceted like a diamond they're just showing me. But if you're hearing messages from a channel or psychic or someone calling themselves a channel or psychic that is flattering the ego or separating or dividing, it's not from the light. It will never be from the light because ultimately we're all one. We're all fractals from the same place and we're here to be mirrors for each other. We bring things into our life, specifically humans, to help trigger things to reflect to us what it is that our soul wants us to see and know. And there is nobody better than anyone else, okay? So to continue that on, for instance, you or they are chosen ones in hierarchy. Any messages that are hierarchy based, red versus blue, Christians versus whatever, skin colors, gender, sexual orientation, that is never going to be from the light. Because again, outside of this realm, our souls don't care about any of that stuff. Our souls use the contrast and polarity in this realm to help us evolve into who we want to become in this life in order to step into our mission with the wisdom that we're learning from our life, but there is no better than, okay? And lastly, fear, when anything is fear-based, it's for control. Anytime something is coming through the ego, it's to bait you, okay? Like I see a lot of people's channels and psychics talking about political messages, saying they channeled from their guides, things that are very politically based. They might be receiving messages from their guides, but since they haven't been able to discern that their ego is involved, it then gets filtered through the ego and it becomes a red versus blue. That will never, ever, ever be the message from the light, okay? Because the light doesn't care about that stuff. There is no right or wrong. There is no good or evil. Technically, it is hard to understand that from a human perspective when we see what we perceive is, I'm here for justice. Check out my story on my website. I lost my job 15 plus years standing up against racism and overt corruption in Fortune 100 bank. So I've got justice in my bones, but from an outside perspective, there is no good or bad or right or wrong. So if messages are coming through or the messages are coming through from these psychics and channels that emphasize that, that's through the ego. Or the dark. It's not from the light. And lastly, love is truth. Love is the only truth. So if you're receiving or hearing messages that aren't love-based, and then it's not truth. It's not higher truth. And I'll say this, that a lot of times when I'm sharing messages, I'll share the message and then I'll say, personally, my human is like, ew. Sometimes when I'm channeling for people, the messages that come through, they'll say, this is very simple. It's simple to do this. Or they'll say that here's a simple way you can do this. And I'll say, this isn't simple. In human form, it's hard to change our mind, or change our belief system. They're saying, but it's not, and they'll say it's not easy. So sharing the message that's being channeled is one thing. Having your human opinion about it is something else. And that's important to discern. So drop your questions and comments. Let me know if you want to go deeper into these lessons, and I'll see you in the next video.